Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your Zero Client Today's Trends in Desktop Virtualization, Reality and Myth conference call hosted by Bernd Klinger. My name is Marianne, and I will be your coordinator for this session. During this conference, your lines will remain on listen only. If you require operator assistance at any time, simply press star followed by 0 on your telephone, and the coordinator will be happy to assist you. Feel free to submit your questions from the beginning of the call. Just click on the Q&A tab on the top left-hand side of your screen, tap in your question next to the Ask button, and then click on Ask. You will also have the opportunity to ask audio questions after the presentation. And without any further delay, let me hand the conference over to our host. Please go ahead, Bernd. It's over to you.
Thank you very much for the welcome, and also welcome from my side. I'm Bernd Klinger, located in Fujitsu headquarters in Augsburg, Germany. I am here a business developer for Thin and Zero clients and VDI topics, and I'm within the company now more than 12 years, and be glad today to present you some of the reality and mythos topics on the virtualization. So let me first introduce and catch you up a little bit where we come from, where we are, and where we go through now. And on the left picture you can see, and if some older audience are here, you can see our very, very good and old BS2000 terminals, which we started in the past from the mainframe area, and then we moved over to the picture on the top on the first PCs, and we are now in the area where we have on the right side kind of fat clients installed in every office in the offices, and we have some kind of virtualization in the past and right now, most of them coming from existing VMware and Citrix stuff like XenApps or the traditional server farms we had long years ago now. And for sure, everyone in the last years and also in the past told to the customers, only with fat clients you can manage all your applications and your audio files and everything on. And this was till now a really good solution, but now we are running more and more into the situation. We had very, very fast development cycles, so a new PC generation will be available in 6 to 9 months. We also have thousands of applications where we have to handle and to manage, and we're having less and less administration people and money to admin that complete stuff. And so therefore we and a lot of other people going now into the thinking how we can go forward. And we as Fujitsu bring out last year our Zero client, and therefore the loop is closing now again. So in the past we had, as I told, the mainframes, which has black and white or black and green monitors, and now we have the Zero client, which is, I think, a kind of mainframe, but with full colored and full Windows experience. So the most important drivers for optimization in client infrastructure and going in VDI scenarios is reducing costs or expecting to reducing cost for going from a FAT client to a VDI scenario. What we also expect from as a driver is we are having better service quality on the systems. That means we are going for easier and faster service on each client. For example, to restore a defect system, we calculate for a FAT PC around about 3 to 4 days, and a virtual machine, if you have a well-managed back end, you can restore such a machine within 60 minutes. Also, we expect from that in virtual desktop infrastructure a lot of benefits. So, for example, we expect to implement lifecycle management. So, as I told, we have life cycles from 6 to 9 months for a PC generation or notebook generation. So we expect on the virtual desktop infrastructure not having every year new hardware which we have to implement in our company structures, which we have to test and configure and so on. Also, we have day by day a lot of patches to install on the systems to make our systems very safe. Also, if you have a notebook or whatever, there is often the possibility then to have an on-site visit from the support people, or you have to bring the system in for update or repair or whatever. And definitely we expect a longer life cycle on that. And last but not least, business continuity. That means faster recover from disaster. And also a very, very important point is the security topic. Security topic means day by day people lost their notebooks, or they were stolen, or people left the company and take their data with them. So with the virtual desktop infrastructure, we expect that we can provide on that, and that is definitely true. And in the modern company areas, we have flexible access, we have virtual rooms or virtual workplaces and so on, and everyone can connect from everywhere. So that's also very, very true. And for the cost saving, I will give additional examples also a little bit later on. The typical use cases for a VDI scenario is definitely on the first and important priority is actual the OS migration. Near most of all the companies must or want to migrate to Windows 7, and with this migration, most of them are also thinking about to implement a VDI scenario into their companies. And with that OS migration often goes hand in hand on hardware refresh, or as I told before, to reduce downtimes, data loss, and so on. And there will be a lot of reasons that people are investigating in that VDI scenarios. So we are coming now to one of the most important topics, and this is, I think, why we call this session also a mythos session, because saying that we can reduce the capital cost from the first day, that is only true if you right now have a non-well-managed infrastructure. The less money you can save is with a very, very good managed infrastructure. Because you have to migrate that FAT clients into virtual clients. This will take time. You have to invest for sure on the first time. Your zero clients or your SIM clients are your stuff you want to have as an client device. You have to upgrade and migrate sometimes your back-end scenarios with your bigger primary servers or whatever you need to upgrade there. So on the first invest, there is more or less no money saving on it. For sure, we have a lot of money savings regarding admin efforts or energy costs on whatever, and there I give you a really very, very good example on that. We have here in Germany, one of our biggest customers is the German Sparkasse. It's a big, big bank here in Germany, and they're running around about 160,000 clients. And that 160,000 clients they have, they are running on that 120,000 thin clients. No zero clients, but thin clients. 120,000 thin clients in complete 160,000 clients they have. And they have in total 120 local admins, which have limited support access, and they have 3 main admins. For 160,000 clients, they have 3 main admins, and for sure these 3 main admins are not completely available. One is ill, one is on vacation, or had some training or whatever, so they are running definitely with 2 main admins that 120,000 thin clients, and they do a rollout twice a year of new software with that limited admin stuff. And Deutsche Sparkasse is also one of the first customers we have which have worked out a dedicated energy cost bill before having that thin client scenario and after having that thin client scenario, and they are reducing their energy cost year by year for 1.4 million euros. So if you take that 2 points, then yes, you have an advantage and a cost saving. Also, you can, for example, say, okay, the boot time of the systems is very, very fast, and instead of 3, 5, or 7 minutes, which a fat client is booting on, you can say from 30 to 60 seconds, a thin or a zero client will boot, so the clients and the customers will have definitely more working time a day. But this is, I think, it's up to each of you to count that and to bring that into your total cost of ownership. And also what you can say, the client or a customer is well managed. That is definitely the truth. As told, the Windows 7 migration is another big topic, as I told before. So we have there a cost reduction by life cycle expected by 50%, and the hardware accounts of direct cost is a saving of around about 14%, and due to a longer life cycle it is around about 50%. So the actual look and feel of a virtual desktop infrastructure concept is you have the access devices, you have the connection broker, you have the users, you have the applications, you have the operating systems, then you have the hypervisor, and then you connect to the server and then to the storage. So this is regarding the actual typical look and feel of a virtual infrastructure. We also implemented here for you some pros and cons regarding server-based computing and VDI. So both have his strengths, both have his weakness. So it is not the kind that one client or one zero client or one thin client or fat client fits into every scenario. You have really to have a closer look on your users, what they are doing day by day, and then to decide which concept is the best for that user groups. But what we can definitely say, a big value add is our new zero client, which is reducing VDI from end-to-end complexity. One second, I think, okay. So what we show here is the zero client concept. On the left side you see the traditional client side, which has data, user profiles, application and OS on that fat devices. Then we have in the middle the scenario of the thin client, which has limited user profiles, an embedded Windows or embedded Linux inside, and a small CPU running on that. And we have on the newer side our new zero clients, which has nothing inside than a normal monitor has, with an additional chip inside. So we have no user profile stored there, we have no OS, and we have no CPU inside. So that is definitely the next level of virtual workplace. So having a picture again, we have on the left side the clients with the connectivity, the OS and the application, the user profiles, the data on it, and keyboard, USB devices, printer, and so on site. And we have in the backend the traditional servers. We have the hypervisor on it. And now we are moving the OS, the applications, not from one user, from different OSs and applications to the server. We move here the zero client technology inside. We put the user profiles into the server, we put the data into the server, we change the client to the zero client, put in a connection broker between that both, and we have our VDI scenario. What we also can say, we have a little kind of small revolution for that. We really have PC on the server. We can say it is an integration into existing infrastructure. It is very easy to use. So you can plug out that zero client monitor out of the box, put the cable inside, and running it after 2 or 3 minutes, it works if your backend is ready for that. We have a really minimized hardware on that, so you need as a front end only the zero client, and keyboard and a mouse, so you can use a wireless keyboard and mouse. Then you have with the actual zero client generation only wire cable and a LAN cable to connect, and that's it. Also, the rollout is a very, very efficient rollout. So if you're going for an overnight copying for the fat clients into the virtual clients, you can have a scenario which enables you to roll out round about 180 devices within less than 3 days. This is a calculation we did, and I think this is a very, very good point where you can reduce also your costs. So what is also a really benefit is for the life cycle, there are definitely no moving parts into that zero client. So we have a really quiet office then in the future. We have access from every zero client to the back end. So if we are going from one zero client to the next, we can do a rooming. So everything is working in the back end, so you have no data loss, you have nothing. As told before, the life cycle of such zero client scenario is much, much longer than with a fat client scenario. This is a not very happy thing for our client manufacturing, because you can use such a zero client up to 5 till 7 years. This is a normally typical life cycle for such a thing, instead of a fat PC which is running normally 2 to 3 years. So as a hardware manufacturer, we could say on the client side, this makes us not really happy, but as a solution provider, we are definitely happy to offer such a solution, because this will be the trend of the future. Also, as told, the cost savings, we have here some little example on that. So we have around about 30% less invest on the hardware, because we have no CPU inside, we have no hard disk inside, no optical disk or whatever, we need nothing on that. So the pure hardware costs are around about 30% less. And we have 60% energy saving and 80% in total reduction of carbon footprint to a traditional fat client. So if your company says we're looking for a green story, then this is state of the art to implement such devices. Also, we have no local data, as I told before, and we have no possibility to bring in some virus into the system. So this is then also a very, very safe installation, and brings you a lot of benefits regarding the security. Coming now to the portfolio of our zero clients, as I told before, we have on the stationary side, we have the D602 as a system we have now available since last year, May time frame roundabout. This was the first generation. We are phasing now into the second generation. The first system will be delivered there is our portable zero client, which I go later on a little bit more into the details on that. We have also from end of January, beginning of February, our new stationary zero clients available, the so-called DZ19/2, and from beginning of March available the DZ22/2. Most benefits on that, we have dual display support, we have isochronous USB, that means we can support USB webcams or stuff like Skype or whatever, that means voice over IP. And with the DZ22 we are enabled to have power over Ethernet. Power over Ethernet means that you definitely, if your backend, your switches are able to power the clients, you need only the LAN cable. So here again, a little bit the highlights. So that means multi-monitoring. We have a ratio of 16:10. and we have a 22-inch system here with the DZ22. On the DZ19 we have an aspect ratio from 5 to 4, and this system is not supporting actually the power over Ethernet. So coming now to the portable Zero client, and there I will tell you some history on the development of that client. We started first to think about having our stationary Zero client, and then we thought to bring a mobile Zero client into the market. And we investigate round about, I think, half a year to think how we can bring that technology into a notebook without having any CPU or any kind of memory or whatever inside. And we come to the result, it is not possible. The definition of our Zero client is really zero. That means definitely no CPU, nothing else into the system. And therefore we decided to bring in that kind of portable Zero client, which has the look and feel of a memory stick, but it's much more than a memory stick. We have a hidden partition on site, which you can store, which you can really store safe data, and we have some special admin software on it, which you can do the connections on site, and this kind of stick has 8 GB memory. The connection is going over an RDP session, and if your company requires that, you need a VPN tunnel. On the portable Zero client, we have not implemented any kind of VPN tunneling because there are a lot of software available in the market, and customer is looking for this or that or Cisco or whatever VPN tunneling. And so we decided if some customer wants to have a VPN on the stick directly, we can implement that VPN software for the customizing, for the customers via customizing. And if you have that VPN tunnel, you can connect from every device in the world to your office. Also, a very, very important topic is the Zero client backend. So in general, I've implemented here the kind of CPU you have to use. For example, we have here one physical CPU core for the hypervisor. You need 4 to 6 virtual desktops per CPU core. You can handle, so you can start with one CPU per virtual machine. Also for the memory, you need 2 GB roundabout for the hypervisor. You need 1 to 2 gig for the operating system which you want to run, and you should be putting enough memory inside the system that the system can handle peaks. For example, if everyone is in the morning connecting to the system, or which we can provide for swapping on the system, because then the working doesn't make any fun. And we have some I/O segments implemented, so please do not go for more than 8 to 30 virtual desktops per network card. We have here also a little bit some details regarding the CPU, which you can use, for example, for an ESXi. You can have a closer look on that. And what we also offer is a Zero Client Infrastructure Bundle. Zero Client Infrastructure Bundle means put it out of the box, put the cables inside, power on the machine, and the system is running. And we have there different kind of bundles. That means we have a bundle for 0 till 15 zero clients, to 0 till 20 clients, and complete up to 50 clients. So this is on the one hand a kind of sizing guide that we can give you onto your hand, and on the other hand this is a kind of very, very fast giving the customer a solution for showing how that zero client is working. And for example, if he wants to test that, then you can have with these bundles really a very, very fast handout to the customer and first hand-on experience on that bundles. So coming to the infrastructure options, we are working with the three major players here in the market. We are working together with VMware, we are working together with Microsoft, and we are working together with Citrix. On every system, you definitely need as a basic the Zero Client Manager. On the easiest way and with the smallest budget, you can use the ESXi, and then it's up to the customer if he's using ESXi plus vCenter plus VMware View, or is taking the Microsoft scenario, or is taking the Citrix scenario with the Xen server and the Xen desktop. Please keep in mind, Xen apps is not working with a zero client scenario. It is only possible with Xen desktop. Please, if a customer is asking, he is having a Xen apps farm or an older server, Citrix server farm, then the only possibility is to go with the thin clients. So they're giving you a summary on that. We're having definitely a dramatically reduce of the cost, depending, as I told before, on the existing infrastructure. We have an excellent or best-in-class data security. We have an absolutely flexible workplace scenario. We have lower downtimes, and we have the major topic for me is we are offering therefore a real green IT scenario. IT management benefits are an easy manageable IT infrastructure for sure, and we have definitely no lifecycle management in the field, so the system needs normally no support, and if really the display is broken or defect, then please change the complete display and or go to the other display which is not in use and work from that display. The user benefits is definitely, if for example if you use the portable zero client, you can use the existing hardware from the desktop or the notebook you already have, but you can give the customers on the virtual machine the latest Windows 7 experience, and as told before, it can be really quick replaced if necessary. So this was the main part, and then we have implemented for you a couple of backup slides. On the first hand, we have a comparison between Zero, Thin, and Fat client. what is needed on the bandwidth, for example, which is the energy peaks. So you see again, the zero client is only using 27 watts, and the fat client is using 82 watts on each system. We have some calculations of cost advantage of the VDI scenario, which is coming out of Gartner, these facts. Then we have implemented the whole zero client scenario, starting with the network, with the bandwidth you need. So with the existing generation, you need around about 2 megabits per second with some standard office usage. With the new generation, we need around about 1 megabit per second. But keep in mind, please, if you're going for video and graphic scenarios, it can go up to 10 megabits per second. We have that modular packages, which I've told before. Then we have what kind of version you can use, which zero client manager, and we have also some information regarding the licensing, what you need on a licensing for that systems. We have some pictures, how does the integration work with that zero client manager. And if you see in the middle, there is a small button, it's called Pano Manager. If you say, yeah, I know this is a different company, and yet you are true. We are working together with Pano for our zero clients and using them as a startup company, and we enabled them for having their kind of solution integrated in our systems. But with our engineering and our work we've implemented on that, we bring them from a US startup company to a company with an European standard that we have within Fujitsu. So we also implemented a kind of TCO calculator for you, and you will say, oh, not again an additional TCO calculator. This TCO calculator is developed together with customers and partners, really specially for our zero clients. So you can download this calculator and you will ask for a lot of things to write inside that calculator, but if you do the work, and it definitely took some days to implement all the stuff you need, then you really get a good feeling and good idea how you can save costs on your systems. So we implemented, as I told, not one solution fits to all, also our thin client portfolio into that VDI scenario, because it is a part of the VDI scenario. So you can have there a look into all of our thin client portfolio which we have. We also give an overview regarding the unique selling points which we have with our thin clients. That means we have here some special software and management software with the Elux and the Scout implemented into our systems. We also implemented in that foil some competitive analysis, because there is a lot of other companies who are taking the zero client into their portfolio. But if you have a closer look on that, to compare, for example, with LG or Samsung or Vice, these are mostly really, or these are altogether thin clients with an out-of-box experience. That means plug it out, put the cable inside and start it, and that is what they call zero client, not that zero client. We are talking about means display with no CPU, with nothing else inside. These zero clients are really thin clients with CPU, with everything inside. We also give a lot of information regarding the virtual desktop infrastructure, how it looks like, how it feels, how the Fujitsu Zero Client Manager is working, how the communication of the Zero Client and DVM is working. And here we also have some pictures regarding how a session setup is working. So you get first over DHCP your IP address, and then the Zero Client Manager will be pop up on the screen. Then you go over your username and your password to the LDAP or DNS, get your account and get your special virtual machine, and then you get back on the display your virtual machine. So this is from my side now all, and I'm be really happy to get your questions to that session. So I hand over to the speaker for collecting and asking the questions.
So ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to ask audio questions, then please press star and 1 on your telephone, record your name, and then press the hash key. If you change your mind and decide to cancel your question, you can press star followed by 2. All questions will be answered in the audio receipt, and you will be advised when to ask your question. Once again, for any audio questions, please press star and 1, record your name, and then press the hash key. There are no audio questions at this point of time. However, there is one from the web, and the question is if you could please send the presentation to the attendees.
For sure we can do. We will upload the presentation within this evening.
Caller, your line is open now. Caller, please make sure that you unmute your line on your end.
Hello, my name is Fernando. I'm calling from Palma. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi. I saw in one of the slides, specifically in the slide comparing zero thin clients and fat clients, I saw one of the characteristics of the zero client. It was the bandwidth required. It was between 2 and 10 megabits per second. It depends on the function you're working with. It's multimedia, or I suppose you work with thin or light applications. The story is when you have different users or a high amount of users, 2 megabits per second bandwidth required for each user. I believe it's too high for instance, for an office of 10 or between 10 and 50 users.
Depending on what your backend you have. So in a normal environmental, we see actually no problems on that, but really you have to have a closer look on what the existing switches and backend is available.
Well, I'm thinking I'm not worried about the switching, but I'm more worried about the bandwidth I have to recommend to my client. He should have in his office to be sure he won't have any problem about the zero clients.
I think you have tapped on that. I can't tell you if there is no real or no theoretical things. You definitely have to test it if it's working or not.
Okay. May I have another question?
Yeah.
I got a client. He was interested in working with virtual desktop, but he asked me if it's possible to do it offline. For instance, if you have your Outlook, you can work online. You can have your emails, and you can have your Outlook in your laptop, working with your laptop, writing your emails, and when you get online, then you synchronize your emails received and you send the ones you have written. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, you didn't have connection. Can you do it something like that with the virtual desktop infrastructure?
No.
No?
Not with that Zero client. You can do it, for example, with every FAT client, and you have, for example, the VMware solution or the Citrix solution, which is called Xen client available. Then you can use that on and offline scenarios.
Okay.
But this is not a kind of this is not possible with the Zero clients.
Okay, so with the MZ900, it's not possible?
No.
Okay. Normally I work with VMware, and I know with VMware View 4.5, the version Enterprise, it has a function, it's called local mode.
Yes.
And it meant that with this version, you have to pay, obviously, you have a license, it's not like Pano. It exists. The question will be positive. I mean, you could do it offline. Is it correct?
Yes, you can do it offline, but therefore you need a kind of hard drive inside, a kind of CPU, a kind of local operating system inside to manage that.
Okay. Okay, that's all my questions. Thank you very much for your answer.
No problem. You're welcome.
Thank you. There are no further audio questions at the moment.
Okay, so we have a lot of questions regarding the text questions. So I will go on for the first question. It comes from Ross. What are the major benefits of offering a VMware View solution alongside the Zero client solution? I think if you're using a VMware View or a Citrix desktop solution or whatever, this is what the where the customer is coming from. If you have, for example, an existing Xen app solution or whatever, most of the customers who are working right now with Citrix, they want to work in the future also with Citrix. If a customer using VMware already, then they will use mostly in the future VMware, or if they are using Microsoft, they will go normally with the Microsoft solution. With the Zero client on that solutions, the benefit is definitely the cost saving on the client hardware. For the cost saving that I told regarding is the manageability, the hardware cost himself, and so on. I hope, Ross, this will answer your question. The next question comes from Mario, and the presentation will be able to download this evening. This is right. The next question is from Molinaire. Regarding the last slide, would it be great to have it for Citrix and Microsoft? I think you mean that side. Yeah, you are right. We started the scenario with VMware. This was where we're starting from, and I can check and try to have this picture also available for the other solutions. But actually I do not have them. And the last question I see is from Dinerf. Is Pano Manager able to work with Xen Desktop Broker or only with Xen Server? As I told, it's only with Xen, or it works with both Xen Desktop and Xen Server. As I show you here, I go back in the scenario and show you again. So here we are. So you can use Xen Server and Xen Desktop for having the Zero Client stuff. It's not needed both. You can use this or that. What is not working is Xen Apps. And another question comes from Fernando. I am not sure if you said it already, but where will you place the presentation? I think we told it already, but I think Mark can tell you exactly where we will store it.
The presentation is already uploaded on the CTech portal, so feel free to download.
So any more questions?
No, there are no questions from the audio lines at all.
And if there are no more questions, I thank the audience for watching that session, and will be happy if there will be some other topics which I can answer to you or whatever, or if this scenario really can help you in your daily life and your daily business. And if there is more support need, feel free to contact me, then I'm glad to support within the whole European area on that topics and that stuff, for example with live demos at the customer or with test scenarios or whatever. So I will thank you all and wish you a great evening.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.